So, what was it like to fall in love with Rosine and then suffer the madness of Vince Irene and Pittsburgh's defamation of character and be left alone from then on, from my 30s to my destroyed 60s? Casualty of police abuse, living with Parkinson's, painful stomach conditions. What was it like? Well, it was a little bit like being deaf, I suppose, only the isolation that consumes 60% of your soul when you're deaf, the other 40% was included. Day after day, week after week, month after month, night after night, especially after they unmanned me. Year after year, decade after decade. Slowly, somewhat less, but for a very, very long time, for the duration of Ichiro's baseball career, I would wake up doubled over in pain. To some extent, it's strange to say the saving grace may have been that they used such a deadly, nearly lethal method. The neurological implant that they used me for was so constricting and deadly that I think my protective instinct kicked in. I saved myself. But I do occasionally see what they tried to do, and my sanity is almost shattered. It's why I'm more than was so inconsolable, and even now my heart goes out to Mackenzie Shirilla. I know who poached her, of course. I've followed this case for a long time. And it's insightful to gather that she was a victim of other women, because the people around Lewis Lapham have absolutely no honor whatsoever. The New Yorkers, the women. I knew, of course, that Margaret Atwood had done it because of her proximity to Gail Sheehy. I just assumed that the two of them were part of the same movement crowd. But out of curiosity, I went into the Google to see who they were mentioned with. You know, I wasn't surprised by the New York Times Review of Books to find Margaret Atwood and Gail Sheehy, which is like she, H-Y, hates you. She's clear from the frequency that they're mentioned together that they're cahooters, that they were in on this thing. I'm sure that they did no end of fomenting of anti-Arab mischief over the years together. But the darndest thing was that the first or second mention was Pan International, surely one of the most colorful of the Nazi Kabbalahs in London. Their dacoitery was responsible for inundating me with the sort of letters that became known as souvenir real estate to the buzzards in Seattle and Pittsburgh. But what you see from the partnership of Atwood and Sheehy is the spell of trendsetters had the passages all worked out. Atwood published Handmaid's Tale to conjure the boogie monsters of Arabia and fear of the Ayatollah under Reagan. But make no mistake, Atwood was with Reagan all along. Cat's Eye, Iron Lung was an echo of Penis Gabriel's Eye of a Cat reference in his poem Exchange with Me. And of course, it echoes from Penis Sinfield's Cat's Foot, Iron Claw. So, the spell of the trendsetters, the passengers, was all in place for the turn of the screw when they pretended to find the Burson letters for Paul McCartney to come battering ram with Bowie to the defense of Hitler-Reagan. For what could more validate the doctrine of feminazism than the jealousy of a pining, rejected deaf man in suffering from an implant, so that the very AIDS attack itself was seen as wow, rising as an ideal of justice, Lenin's avengement defending Leslie Katz, a story as old as the brutal franchise schemers who said, okay, Sharilla, you're needed for this party game. And ding dong, the madness never ends. The media in America crows that Zelensky can't be a Nazi. It's a logical contradiction because he's a Jew. Do they continue to say this now? As the carrion bird monster himself, Netanyahu, has shown the whole world the buzzardly mayhem of Western morality amounts to nothing but woe and beyond. A real estate deal, the fuckers. They have no pity, no mercy. They went to Germany school and they've learned to do it with a smile. The fuckers. Look at Robert Card, who shot up the bowling alley over Robert Fripp's card. The real estate of a Penis Gabriel authentic souvenir.